Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afker, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of your divine uniqueness. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us in this second call of this new season. So yeah, very happy to connect with you live, and also very happy and also excited that Ambujam Rose is with us today on the show. I think the last time she joined us, it was a year and a half or 2 years ago, I think 2021. And yeah, I think many of you already know her and know really how powerful her work, her healing work is. And maybe many of you already joined her group power healing sessions or her private sessions, or attended or had a private session with her. And just first, I want to share my own personal experience, especially with the group power healing sessions, because I've been joining those sessions over the years, like I think since 2015 or 2016. And but then it was in 2021 when I really joined, I think every week or once in every 2 weeks. And really it was, how to say, maybe I can say life-changing, the support that I received from Ambujam through her group power healings. And I was going through some experience that was really challenging. I experienced some manipulation, narcissism, and really I wasn't aware of that at all at some points. And through Ambujam's sessions, I got more clarity about what was going on, and I started taking decisions and making new choices that really supported me, that were really empowering and made me shift the path and make new choices that supported my new path. And also I love like how she approached the healing, like the guidance that she gives. It's really accurate, because it feels like a private session, and it's almost in every session it feels like talking specifically to a theme or subject that I was experiencing at that time. And I've been experiencing a lot of healing, a lot of shifts through her sessions. And I've been feeling that in my daily life through, how to say, like taking more empowering decisions, feeling more freedom, more empowerment. And also, like, it's like also my gifts getting started to get more and more maybe more open, or I feel like there is more accuracy in my discernment about my truth and what is really serving me. And yeah, the shifts has been happening like effortlessly. It's not something that's I've been forcing, but it just happened. And at some point I just realized, yeah, things are shifting. And yeah, so I'm grateful to her for the work that she's doing, and so excited and so happy that she's back today on the show. And for those of you who are new to her, she is a quantum energy healer, awakening and self-embodiment activator, wayshower, and guide. And today's subject is really interesting, is the power of reluctancy, self-empowerment to face it, heal it, and shift it. So yeah, we will be discussing these subjects, and also you will be experiencing very powerful healing later on the call. So yeah, so with that, Abuja, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us too.
Thank you, my love. Oh, what a beautiful introduction. I'm so grateful that our group sessions have helped you. It's like everything you said about your experiences and how it's helped with your clarity and your self-empowerment and discernment and reactivity. It's like, that is like, to me, that's everything. Because, you know, the whole reason these group power healings were rolled out was because everybody started waking up. All my clients started waking up in like 2010-ish. And everyone was like, what is wrong with me? My stuff is up 24 hours a day. What's true? What's not true? Like, who am I? All my passions are falling away. What's wrong with me? And so I started to work, you know, I was doing my one-on-one stuff, and And then I could just feel from spirit, they're like, we need to create what's needed now and work with more people at once to help them understand what's going on. Like, you're not losing your mind. Well, really we are, right? But it's like, these things are really normal, what we go through, and like learning to discern our truth is everything now, right? It's everything. And the peace that can come from that, or just the sovereignty and the wholeness, it's like all truth, peace, sovereignty, it's kind of all wrapped up in one, you know? So what you were saying about the groups, I'm so grateful, and I really appreciate it. You sharing that. And I just want to say hi to everybody. It's so good to be here. And our topic for today, reluctancy. When I tuned in of like, what does the show topic need to be? And Spirit always provides the topic that is the most relevant at the time. And because we could say they see the overview of where we all are in our path and what needs to be discussed and what needs to release easier. And when they gave me that topic, reluctancy, I was like, that's an interesting word. It's not a word we use all the time. You know, oh, I feel reluctant, right? Hesitant, yes. Fearful, yes. But reluctancy is so interesting. So I feel like all of you who are listening and who are part of this show, and everyone listening to the replay, and souls we don't even know are here, you guys are going to pull through all the significant pieces of it that we need to talk about. And reluctancy is actually a ripple effect. It's like, by the time we feel reluctant to do something, what is that? Where has it all come from? And so we're going to dive really deep into this subject and, you know, why it's so important right now. So that's kind of the overview. And then I'll take you guys' questions, and we'll do a bunch of healing that will be all spontaneous. And yeah, it's good. It's good.
Wonderful. And yeah, maybe would you like, maybe if there is anyone new to you, to share a little bit about your work before we start the discussion about reluctance?
Yeah. So I'll super simplify it because it's a super long story. There are 3 parts to it. So ever since I was about 2 years old, I was seeing the path of the soul and all its significant experiences, energies, choices, and then reactivity through all these lifetimes that wasn't healed or expressed or understood. And it's these really powerful, let's say, emotions that haven't reconciled yet, that are playing out over and over and over and over and over. And then our lifetime here, all of our significant life themes, quote, issues, aren't coming from this life. They're coming from the soul history. And so when I was little and I'd be standing next to an adult, the soul would come out and they'd start telling me why the adult was suffering and what was going on and how they could heal it, like super fast. And I was like, I thought everybody saw that. I had no idea I was the only one until I got to high school. I started saying it out loud. And that's when everybody was like, go away. You're a weirdo, buzzkill, you know. So I had shut it down, totally forgot about my gift, and moved to San Francisco when I was 26. It literally turned back on overnight. I felt 1,000% guided to start a healing practice. I'm only 26 years old. I don't know what I'm doing. I felt like a child running around being like, hey, everyone, I want to do a reading. Something happens. And so I started doing my readings at like 26. So it was like 29 years ago, which is crazy to me. And then the readings started turning into healings, because as I was sharing somebody's soul history with them, their inner self, all of this, like all of their energy bodies of where these issues were sitting started to like activate and turn on and start doing healing. And it was this whole partnering that started happening. So then the readings turned into healings. And then in about 2010-ish, I remember when it happened, I was sitting in front of a client and I'm doing this reading, and we'll say the soul is talking to me and spirit's talking to me and their inner self is talking to me. Everybody's sharing like this issue that's going on and how they can heal it. And all of a sudden, my clients, like this light in their heart turned on. It was like in the center of their being. It turned on, and it was a whole different consciousness than the issues and then the soul history and the inner child. Completely different consciousness. And it was so clear and peace and pure and empowered and sovereign. Like, I don't even have a word to describe it. And I was like, what is going on? And then that consciousness, that light, now I know it's the true self. The true self and my client started doing all this healing with all of these things that I was talking about. And that's when awakening first started happening, like in front of my eyes with another. And then it was happening over and over and over and over again with all these different clients. And then people started going through really similar themes and freaking out because their life was falling apart, right? Everything that wasn't who they truly are started healing, releasing, aligning, falling apart, going away, shifting, changing, right? Everything that we're going through now. And I just remember this really quiet feeling in my body of like, something else needs to happen now, because I couldn't do work in the same way, because we're not just about healing issues anymore. We're about, well, what is that light? Who are you? What are you? And what is this whole life you have to live now? Because this light's living a life now, right? Who we truly are is living this life. It's out, right? So my work had to change. And then the group power healing started happening. And it was just completely life-changing. And then I focused on group power healing since then. So it was like 2010 is when it kind of started to now. And because so many more people are waking up now and the energies are so fast, I do them once a week, sometimes twice a week, because the whole purpose of the group power healing work is to work exactly where you are in the moment, to help the old self, we'll say, heal, reconcile, clear. And it's always specific topics that Spirit chooses for each session. And so when you guys feel to come to a session, right, I put out the email and then something in you resonates with that, then this group forms, and then the group speaks to me just like a private session. And I'm sharing what's going on. It's basically this big fat private session, but with everyone. And so I'm always in awe because I get so many emails being like, are you sure there was anybody else in the call? Sounds like you're talking exactly to me. I'm like, how is this freaking possible that you have a whole group of people and yet it's so specific to what a single person is going through? And so the whole premise is to help the old heal faster so the true self can come out easier. And that's the purpose of group power healing, to clear the old quicker, awaken easier. So that's my work. It's what I do. And then it's always the work's always evolving because you guys are always evolving and the energies are always evolving. So they always pull through what's needed throughout our path. So it's never like, it's always fresh. It's always now. It's not stale. I have no protocol, meaning I have the topic, just like today, I have the topic we're going to discuss. And then you guys bring through all the energy and all the specifics that we'll do. And so it's a complete in the moment, like a flower unfolding. And I'm literally watching the flower unfold and I'm discussing and sharing what I'm watching happen. The other quick thing I just want to say too is, for me, how I work is like imagine if you went to go see a movie and as you're sitting in your movie seat, the screen is there's just black screen. It hasn't started yet. So you have no idea what's about to happen, right? You just know the premise of the movie, you know the actors, and that's it, right? And so the movie starts and you're completely engrossed in it. And you're living it, you're watching it, and it's unfolding in the moment, and you're getting the information in the moment. That's to me how I see. So when I start the group session, it's like a movie pops up and literally it's like super alive and it's playing out this whole experience. And I'm narrating to you guys what I'm seeing happen. So it's very alive for me. So that's my work.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ambujam. And so about reluctancy, first, I'd love if you can tell us maybe your definition about it. Like for me, how I see it, it's more like a state where we don't really live, maybe we don't really live on what we want to create, maybe, or it becomes more difficult, or we need to put so much effort to move forward. So how does it feel for you, like energetically?
So I'm going to describe it like this. Reluctancy. So there's the word reluctancy, there's the dictionary meaning of it, there's the emotion of it, and then there's the energetics of it, right? Everything's energy. So I'm going to talk about it like it's energy first. Reluctancy is like a veil, a see-through, invisible wall and a block to us doing what we need to do, right? And I'm going to talk about it in terms of when you know the truth inside of you and you need to do it because you know it's right for you and you feel reluctant to doing it. That's what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about when something isn't right for you and you just know it's not right. And therefore you're like, that doesn't feel right for me. That's not reluctancy. Okay. Can we feel reluctant to honoring the truth? Sure. But I'm going to talk about when we know deep in our hearts that there's something true for us to do. Choice, decision, ending something, beginning something. Okay. And all the things in between. So I'm going to just talk about it as it's coming through right now. In the heart center, there are layers and layers and layers and layers and layers so fine of consciousness. Everything from, we'll say, the human emotional heart all the way back to, let's call it spiritual heart, to the truth. Okay. Then there's all these layers in between. Reluctancy is a protection so we don't be the spiritual heart. We don't be who we really are. Okay. It's like something was put there, not outside of us. Okay. This isn't like an energy that's not us for a second. Okay. I need to talk about it like this. It's like it's an energy that's there to keep us from fully realizing who we are. So if we look at, let's say, the spiritual heart, all the layers, and then human heart, okay, an emotional heart, way back here, there's this reluctancy. There's an energy that feels tight. It feels like I want to move forward, but I can't. It's just like it's invisible. We feel like just kind of like a gripping, a tightness. I'm not going to use the word fear right now. I'm just not going to use that word right now. It's like a stuckness or tightness or like this feeling of like, I know I can just push through, but why can't I? Doesn't make sense to me. Feel the truth, but why can't I just do it? Right? This reluctancy that Spirit's pointing to right now was put there in the heart, has been there to protect spiritually. And this is where I'll use the word fear. Deep down in the spirit or in the egoic kind of layers or in the incarnational experience, there is a profound fear. It's not the mind. It's not the emotion. There's a profound fear of being who and what we really are. It's really normal. Kind of comes with the territory, we'll say. So let's say here's source or creation. And then I'll use myself as an example. Then I incarnate, right? Now I'm a form. But my form is this, right? Source. So I incarnate. The experience of incarnating into a form in and of itself is thousands of layers of consciousness and energy before I even begin to be in a form. Okay. And then I live my form life, right? I'm now a form, and I have thought, I have experience, I have emotion, I have choice. I have all kinds of things, right? Just the experience of incarnating creates this feeling of I'm now separate than who I really am, separate, right? Because now I'm a form, and my form starts to form this identity. It starts to form this like me. Ambujam. I'm now Ambujam, not source anymore. And over time, that identity gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and I forget who I really am, right? It's within, and this is what's challenging to describe, it's within the incarnational process, and then the form creating an identity is where this reluctancy is that we want to talk about today, which is so interesting. Because we're not talking about it on an emotional level yet. We're not talking about it on an issue level or a thought level. We're talking about it energetically, like where it is in us. And it was there to, quote, keep us safe. Because somewhere in the incarnational body, we are so scared to be who we truly are, to self-realize. It's like mind-blowing, overwhelming. It's so scary. And yet it's everything we've ever wanted. We could say, right? It's that moment of like, oh my God, this is everything I ever wanted. Oh my God, it's too much. I can't take it, right? It's kind of like that, okay? This reluctancy energetically is time now. We don't need it anymore. Because we have this incarnational experience of needing to feel safe, let's say, from the incarnation, from my form. I need to feel safe now. I don't know who I am. You know, God, source, creator is far away, right? Because now I'm in my identity. I forget who I am, right? As it was supposed to be. Because I need to go experience myself fully asleep at first, right? Until awakening happens, right? And then I start coming, oh my God, I'm not who I am, right? It's what we're all going through now, right? Because of the level of awakening that we're all going through and the layer of self that we actually need to be now in our human body, reluctancy can't be here anymore, energetically. It's time that we, and this is hard to describe because when I'm about to say, it's not like we can do it. Like we can't set our minds, be like, I'm not going to be reluctant anymore. Okay, no, it's not there. Okay. Deep in the heart, your true heart, your spiritual feeling inside, like who you are inside, your energy, your essence. Like when you feel into yourself, no labels, just your essence. That's where you can choose to let it go. And it's a feeling. It's not a mind thing, right? It's like, where does this resonate? What's being spoken right now? And we can let it go now. Then it starts to ripple forward through all of our lifetimes and all the significant spots, right? Because each issue has like significant, kind of like connect the dots. All throughout our soul history, my present issue has significant dots all over the place. I don't know what those are, but my issue does, my true self does, my inner healer knows, right? So when you start to choose from that essence, from that heart, it's not a mental choice. You feel the choice. You're like, I'm ready. I don't know mentally what this means. I feel what it means. It doesn't mean you're not scared. It doesn't mean there's not trepidation or fear. It just means you really feel in your heart like, whatever this is, I don't want it anymore because I don't need it anymore because I need to be who I am now in this human body. And energetically, this reluctancy is kind of sitting there, as it should have, because I was scared a long time ago. But now it's time to become who I am, not just humanly, because every time you choose to be who you are humanly, it ripples everywhere. And every time you, in your past life, choose to be who you are, it ripples everywhere, right? So we don't have to think about multidimensionally right now. We don't have to think about energetics of where this is going to go, how it's going to work. All you have to do is feel in your heart. Am I ready to let this go? Am I ready to let the protection go so I can be who I really am? Let the truth of who I am really come out. So it's so interesting that that's where we want to start this conversation, because that's the core of it. And then that ripples through fear of being who we are, emotional, mental, choices, people in our lives, obligation, shoulds. It's a big fat root. So I feel like any second, we're going to do some healing to help everyone let this go. And the powerful part about the work that we all do together, it's not just about us. So sometimes, which is today, in the group power healing work that we do, when you as a human being release or heal something super significant, it ripples all the way back to the original, let's say, source choice to experience something as an incarnated being. And source goes, oh, because it's all but one big being. Source goes, oh, other souls don't need this anymore either. We don't need to have this anymore. It's way beyond something I can describe, but it's a sacred ripple effect in consciousness that starts to happen that can evolve not only just us, but everywhere that's ready. So I feel like this is one of those times where, like, whatever we're about to do to release this reluctancy, quote unquote, is the word, this feeling, this block, this safety net, let's say, of realizing who we really are and being who we really are all the way through. Something is going to happen in a much bigger scale that simply creates veils and blocks for other souls and other people in other ways. Like, it's just one big thing. It's about to happen. So, do you want to add anything, Monsef? And does anybody have anything they want to add too before we start doing this?
Yeah, first, thank you for that, like the description you gave. Obviously, it's really like shifts totally the way we see reluctancy and how we approach it. Because once we see the big picture, the process of letting go becomes maybe more easier or more approachable, because before it was more approaching it from a mind perspective. And then there's all this limiting belief that, for example, if I let go of that protection, I'm not doing enough. Like, if, especially, as you say, during the time when there is integration, where things are slowing down, physically, on the physical level. And because of those limiting beliefs, we try to force things to happen. And then when we see things not manifesting or not showing up as we want them to be, it makes the reluctancy even more stronger. But when we understand its energetics, it becomes easier to maybe to approach it.
I feel like we're ready now.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Especially, I just want to add though, what you said. I want to add to what you said, especially these days with manifestation, the buzzword, right? I'm just going to simplify it like this. Things aren't as simple like they used to be anymore. They're super layered. And when we are choosing what we really want in our hearts and living from our true self and choosing there, how that manifests is way more connected to so many other things than we could ever imagine, because it's not just about us anymore. So something has to really be ready in many levels at once. And the divine intelligence of everything knows exactly what it's doing. And like you said, when things aren't manifesting or when things are slowing down, there's like these natural waves, right? Like inhale, exhale, right? Or like retrograde, pulling in and then coming out again, or like the ocean, how it retreats, right? And then the waves come again. When it's things are retreating, because that's the natural wave. Yeah, that reluctancy to really be who we are and stay true to ourselves and really feel the truth in us, even though things aren't manifesting in the way that we want yet, is so many people are experiencing that. So I just want to add to like, yeah, it's really challenging. And the empowerment of when we can really stay true to ourselves and be like, I know something isn't manifesting yet, but what does it feel like in my heart, however? Is my heart freaked out right now? No. Is my heart saying anything's wrong? No. I am though, right? I don't like it. I'm scared. I want what I want. I'm pissed off or I'm whatever. But then there's this cool, calm, and collected, right? And we don't know how to reconcile those yet, right? Like, how do we fully live in the heart that knows, this calm place, you know? And I just want to share this really quick, actually, as things are like building here. When I had my awakening, I don't know, I want to say like 15 years ago or so, like the initial awakening, right? We all have our initial and then there's the rest of our lives, right? Keeps going deeper. When I had my initial one, I was living in New York City. I had my awakening and then I moved to New York City like 2 months later and my rent quadrupled and I couldn't do anything but lay in bed all day. I was flattened by my awakening because everything I used to do didn't work anymore, like overnight. And I moved to New York thinking, I'm going to go grow my practice. And so I'd had my awakening like a month and then, like 2 months later. So I had this still idea that what I was moving to New York for. Little did I know. So I couldn't do anything. The awakening was taking over everything and I couldn't be who I was anymore, the me that I thought I was. And my heart, I would wake up every day freaked out, so scared. I'm like, my rent just quadrupled. I can't work. I can't talk. I don't even know how to get out of my bed. And yet my heart was so calm. I was like, what is happening? And I couldn't reconcile my freak out. It was the most strangest experience I ever had. Now, 15 years later, I'm like, oh, I understand what was happening. And so the more healing we all do, the more awareness we work with, the more we know thyself, the more these kind of two worlds start to reconcile, or they start to kind of, the heart starts to take over even more. And this part that's freaking out, it just starts to, over time, right? That's why it's embodiment. It just starts to, something starts to happen where they start to become more one over time. And so, yeah, I just like everything that you said is like the part that's like this, and yet ourself is like, this isn't reluctant. This is though, right? And again, what's interesting is like when I share this story, like the part of us that freaks out in the mind and the emotions, that's the reluctancy that we experience to be who we are, to make the moves we need to make. That's where that like hard to name feeling is that we can't quite heal away. It's just this like a taut guitar string. It's just kind of there underneath, it's really interesting. So I feel like we're ready now. So basically we're just going to do a big ass group power healing right now to clear, heal, reconcile, and complete with whatever layers that you all are ready individually, as a soul, as a being in your journey, to let this reluctancy, this protection little layer go. Gonna remove. So I think we're ready. Anything else you want to share, Monsef, before we do it?
No, not for now. Maybe later.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So you guys, all of you here, the replay, all the souls that are listening right now. Some souls are like, brr, I'm ready. What's about to happen? So interesting. All you have to do is just be and just feel what you feel like right now, what's here, in your readiness, your willingness to let go of what we're talking about. Because it's beyond words, it's beyond concepts, it's this really deep feeling inside, right? Yep, so I'm going straight into that. Let's say veil. And we're just starting to break it down. Ooh, interesting. There's lots of egoic consciousness in there. And what's interesting is the ego is like, I should always know what to do. I should be able to make a choice and move mountains. So the true self, let's say, behind this reluctancy, protection energy is just starting to come through now more so in the incarnation. Yep, and that's true self is just taking up more space now in the human body, energy. And then everyone is just moving forward now in your path, in your life, of where you need to make your moves, take action, of where that reluctancy was not allowing that, or you were bumping up against that. And then on like more of a emotional level, there are fears, traumas of where the reluctancy sticks to, or where it sticks to reluctancy that we're healing now too, in other lives and in this life. Yep. And I hear God, spirit, angels, higher beings basically asking you, are you ready now to be you on these deeper levels now and self-realize? Yep. So all these layers of reluctancy is behind you now, and you guys are all going more forward, embodying and being and taking up space. So we're doing some clearing in the intestines and the abdomen and the belly. Now we're doing the human body clearing of where reluctancy on all levels, emotional, mental, energetic, the roots of it, how it's been affecting the human body, the body, mind, the emotions. Yep. And you can just keep feeling like I'm so ready to let all this go. Not by trying to get rid of it, but by acknowledging it. Like, yep, this was my stuff. This was me. I've been scared. I've been hurt. Of course, I've had reluctancy. So the soul body now is catching up with everything now that we're doing. It's having a discussion with God, source. Yep, soul's like, well, Guess I'm ready now, boss. And again, the soul is God, God is soul, or source, God, creator, whatever words work for you guys. So the soul is like having a conversation with itself. Soul as soul, God as God, soul saying to God, I'm ready now. And then God goes, okay. So the soul body is releasing from its choice to let go of this layers of reluctancy, of quote, protection, of these deep fears to be itself fully and completely. All these super subtle layers in the soul body are releasing now too, around the heart. Just the beingness releasing. Yep, and then we're going into past lives now. So basically now the ripple effect is happening from your human choice to let this go at whatever layers will let go for you. Now it's rippling. It's interesting. There's like these layers of like gambling, like the thrill of gambling, the thrill of superstition, or kind of like, oh, if I'm going to throw this piece of paper in the basket, and if it doesn't make it, it means X, Y, and Z happens. And if it does make it, it means A, B, and C is going to happen. It's that type of kind of betting everything. For whatever reason, that's part of what's releasing right now. And that's really like, we could also say that's like giving your power away to something outside you, right? Putting a bet into something, gambling into something, throwing something into a waste paper basket means you're going to get something or not get something, right? Okay. So what's happening now is spirit and source, God, creator, are taking all these ripples and are going to continue to work with it. And it's a choice that source, God, creator is making, let's say, to let reluctancy go energetically. That it changes how we incarnate. It changes how incarnation experiences itself, because it's pretty core. Because source, God, creator is ready to have that experience now as an incarnated being. So this is a metaphor that we can understand. If you put a child in a room and there are all these toys, and there's thousands and thousands of toys, and the child can't wait to play with all the toys. So the child focuses on one toy and plays with it and plays with it and plays with it. And then one day the child's like, meh, I'm bored, puts the toy down and grabs another toy. Because the child is fully present, let's say. We don't really know what's going on with that child, right? But let's just say, for metaphor's sake, the child is fully present with that toy. It's receiving all this information and all this experience and creativity from the toy, because it's like it vibrates back to the child. So every time the child presses a button on the toy or plays with it, it vibrates information back to the child. Child receives the information and plays some more and gets some more information until the child got everything it could from that toy. Might play with it a little later, but it got everything it could. So now it's looking for its next toy to go play with for the pure experience of experience. Right? It wants to experience everything it can from that toy, right? God is like that child. All the toys are its incarnations of us. And it experiences every single thing from every one of us so specifically, because each one of us are a different experience. And so the child is ready for a different experience now. It doesn't really want to play with reluctancy anymore. It's kind of like, meh. It's been hundreds and thousands and gazillions of years. I think I got a lot out of that. That layer or that consciousness of fear of being and realizing who I really am as an incarnated being. I think I'm going to release this now. So that's basically what's happening on a really deep level right now. this veil, this protection from source is shifting now, which then changes how we all experience ourselves, life. And it's, again, not a mental, planned out thought of now I'm going to do this. Nope. We just let this release produce the fruits it's going to produce all by itself because it's consciousness, right? And then the other thing that's coming up to talk about too is the ability to feel more playful can feel safer too. Because really being playful is your true nature. It's like the gesture or the fool in the tarot card deck. It's its nature. It's the fool's nature to just keep going no matter how many times it gets hurt, no matter how many times it gets betrayed. The fool's like, well, I'll feel my feelings and then I'm moving on. What's next? You know, it just keeps being present and showing up, right? So your true ability to feel playful hasn't felt safe for whatever reasons you've, or releasing some stuff around there. Whatever your soul has experienced, there's reasons why playfulness hasn't felt safe to be playful again. And if you think about being truly playful, that's you being in your heart, right? And being present and free and vulnerable, right? Curious. And so there's a lot of reasons why that hasn't felt safe from your experiences. And so now we're just doing some healing on that too. Okay. So I think all that's going to just keep going and settling for a little bit and integrating and rippling for a while. And I'm just going to wait until my facilitation with all that is done to a group, to a certain degree now. And it's all of us that did this, that helped shift this consciousness. Each one of you, your specific self, your unique path that you're healing and awakening, your soul's wisdom, your knowing, your essence. Like there's so many parts of you. It's you, it's all of us that created this now. You know, that just happened. So, okay, Monsi. So it's going to be going on for a while, you guys, rippling for a while. I don't even know what to say.
Thank you very much, Ambujam. Yeah, that was very, very empowering. And yeah, also I love the example that you gave about the child, about, because sometimes there's things that just doesn't serve us anymore. So we took the information we need, but there we can, how to say, like mix reluctancy with, yeah, we just need to move on. We don't need that because we have expectation. For example, if we start something, we need to finish it until the end. But sometimes that's not the purpose of it. Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's like everything has its, like you said, purpose. And until that purpose is fulfilled, it's not done. Can we accelerate that purpose once we're conscious of it? If it's rightful, yes, right? But yeah, everything has purpose. And I think, you know, like with all the readings I've done, and when any one of us gets healing with someone and that we're in this whole other place, like that space opens up, and then we can feel the purpose in what we're going through, like, oh, and then we can't forget it because it's in us now, right? We might like put our focus somewhere else and like go back to being like, meh, right? But once you feel the purpose in what you're going through, it's like it's in there, right? Yeah.
Beautiful. Cherry shot, tears flowing. Thank you all. Miriam, feel in my solar plexus. And yeah, we have questions written and also some of our audience raising their hands. So we'll start taking question in a little bit. Just before that, Ambujam, I would love if we can talk about the program, the 2 packages we are offering. So there's a really massive program, self-empowerment healing program, and also a live group power healing session. And I invite everyone to visit the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Ambujam, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Ambujam, AMBUJAM. I put the link on the chat box on Zoom and also on YouTube. And also there is special offer button on the live event page, later on the replay page, and also on YouTube video description. Yeah, so Ambujam, I would love if you can tell us about this.
So Monsef reached out to me, I don't know, 2 weeks ago now or ish.
Yes.
And I'm like, you, Monty. It's like he reached out of the universe and was like, do you want to come to my show? And I was like, yes. What's happening? Because it was such a yes. And it was so quick. And I was like, before I knew it, I was getting on a schedule. I'm like, when's your soonest session? When's your soonest show? I got to get on. And so I immediately felt guided to create this first part of my package of the MP3s of package A. Okay, so there are 14 total MP3s, and they're all self-empowerment based. The first 4 I just created last week, and it's like I couldn't help it. I'm like, I got to create these 4, and I'm like, I'm just, it's all coming through me. And so each of these self-empowering accelerated healing series 4 in the beginning, they all are 3 parts, each 4 of those MP3s. They're a teaching, so I'm talking about the subject. Then we do a guided meditation in the subject for you to really feel it for yourself and embody that. And then the third part of that MP3 is doing accelerated healing for the topic. So that was really fun to make. And so the first 4, they all work together. And the first one is how to navigate the unknown. And I talk about why the unknown is so much more than ever, just one thing. The second one is receiving. And I talk about how the truth of you is always receiving. So easy. But then the parts that have, quote, issues with it is the parts that have been hurt, right? So we work with those parts in that MP3 as well. Then we have true self-empowerment. What does true self-empowerment really feel like versus we're always trying to feel it emotionally or mentally, but it doesn't work, right? So I talk about that and we do healing for that. And then that 4th part is we help you integrate and embody those first 3 MP3s. So listen to the first 4 in sequential order the first time you listen, and then you can go back at any time. Then I felt guided to add MP3s of how to trust yourself, how to find, know, and embody your path. And then I have a whole other section that I've called self-inquiry. It's a hard word to say. Self-inquiry and discernment series, how to know your truth in any situation. And so those are 5 MP3s. And I go into detail about knowing the difference between your mind, your emotions, and the truth in your heart. So the first package A is all these self-empowering MP3s for you guys to leap forward in your self-empowerment. And then package B is all that plus a live group power healing that I'm going to do on October 21st. It's a Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern to 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And to simplify it, all the information is on the page of what that is. But the whole session is to help you deepen in your self-empowerment, nurture, strengthen, cultivate, fortify. And then you guys are going to be bringing all the old layers to release that are directly related and significant to you being in your power. So that is my package to self-empowerment, 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 which I'm all about anyway. It's all the work. So that's my package. So I'd love to be with you guys in our live session and really have you experience these MP3s. They're so good, if I do say so myself. I listen to them sometimes and I'm like, damn, that was so helpful, because we all get in our minds, you know? So they're really there to help you guys really, you know the truth, really foundationally. So.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ambujam. Yeah, for accepting to join in a short notice, and also for I wasn't expecting that we will have today the call, but yeah, it's really meant to happen, and really, like I said in the beginning of the call, I shared my personal experience with Ambujam, with her healing work, and how it is really so powerful and very, very transformative. And how to say, like, I really recommend her work, and this is something that comes from my heart and really from my own experience, because I really trust her work. I trust her as a person, and also the work that she does. And yeah, I feel really honored to share her work with you here on the show. So yeah, I really invite you to join us in the session, the group power healing session, and also taking advantage of the massive package, the first one with the 14 MP3s. And again, I will put the link on the chat boxes on both Zoom and YouTube. And yeah, also you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. And the link will be is already on YouTube video description. Or you can just visit yourdivineuniqueness.com/Ambujam, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Ambujam, AMBUJAM. And yeah, so let's start taking questions. So let's see. First one from Erica. I find that I get close to connecting with my knowing and something happens. I freeze up, feel blocked, like I can't fully connect to knowing source and want to run away. Any insight on how to get past this?
Well, what comes up first is that's not you. So this brings another teaching forward, one of my favorites. We, especially these days, and then I'll go into her question more further, but especially these days, because we have access to so much energy and we're so much more sensitive to all this energy outside, right? Before you do any self-inquiry, before you do any healing, before you spend any time on anything, don't forget to ask yourself, is what I'm feeling 100% mine? Yes or no? Or what percentage of what I'm feeling is mine? And you don't have to get an exact number. It's more pointing to, oh, I actually feel like a lot of this isn't mine, or I feel like some of this is mine, or I feel like none of it's mine. What? So when you ask yourself that question, really within what percentage of this is mine, and whatever you feel like is yours, just stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. And the rest starts to release naturally because it's sticking to this thing, to your percentage. It's sticking to your, quote, unhealed, deeper beyond your mental consciousness parts of you that have stuff, right? Have experiences, have pain, have hurt. So when Erica asks me this question, I see this image of her going into meditation or to connect, and then something comes up that's not her energy. It's not your energy, Erica. The other thing, before I go just a little bit more deeper into this, the other thing I want to say to you, and this is a kind of a challenge for us to work with, because letting go of our own identity or seeing our own identity for what it is one of the most hardest things ever, because it still feels like us, right? I feel like what's going on, Erica, more foundationally than this energy that's not you, is there's so much freedom in you. There's so much awakeness in you that you're still operating from who you think you are. Who you think you are, how you'll know you're in it at the levels that I'm seeing about when you go to sit with yourself and connect, feels very, what's what I'm looking for? Like it likes to plan. It's very linear. It's very, like masculine. It's a very masculine way of being. It's linear. It's thought. It's figuring it out, right? And I'm not saying it's bad. It's just kind of a masculine trait to figure out, to plan, right? It's feminine to get intuition and flow, and masculine and feminine can work together, right? So I'm not talking so much about that. I'm talking more about the Erica that you know approaches things in a very particular mental, linear, thought processed way. That's not you, man. That's not you. And there's the truth of you is completely opposite than this sense of self that you have, that you think is you. It doesn't mean you don't use your thinking, your intelligence, let's say your divine intelligence. It doesn't mean you don't use your mind anymore. It means this part that's very gripped and very, again, linear planning to be safe. So when I see you go into meditation, let's say, or into connecting, you're going into your, let's just call it your identity. It's not you. So what I would suggest is to, and this is the part that's hard because, again, we think we're this person still. So when I tell you what I'm about to tell you to do, your mind will try to do it and that won't work either. So we have to surrender it takes time because it kind of just happens. Grace takes over. It's like surrendering into, well, who am I really, I wonder? If I'm not this part that plots and plans and figures it out and watches and does all these things, what does this heart really feel like, I wonder? What's actually here? Something that's way beyond something I can't even imagine. But I can feel it if I just practice kind of going beyond all these subtle layers and just, oof, because I'm not this identity anymore. And this energy that's not you is like outside of your identity. It's not in your heart. It's not in the true self. And the thing that's not you is just this kind of masculine control energy that it knows you're getting closer to being who you are and having your experience and your consciousness of that. And it doesn't want you to do that. It wants you to stay in this, what's that word I'm looking for? Damsel in distress. Oh, I can't really do this. Oh, I don't know who I really am. Oh, I'll try, but I'll keep failing. It wants you to stay in that. It doesn't want you to drop in. And so the more you do drop in, the more that thing just releases. It has to go. So that's what I want to say.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And really your answer and like discerning what's really ours or not really help us to, it's very empowering. And also if there is some manipulation, it doesn't have any effects on us. It's, it feels that it's there, but Erica Sharot, oh, wow, thank you, with 3 exclamation points.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ask her if she can just write back. Does she feel what I'm saying about there's this, like she's not this identity anymore. And there's this really other thing that's there now. Because it's not in the mind, it's beyond that. It's
Sharot, yes.
Yeah. That's where you need to go there. And of course the mind will try, but at some point something drops. So just let it have its own process there.
Yeah. And sure, it totally resonates. Yeah. Thank you again, Ambujam, and thank you, Erika, for your question. Vivi, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, hi. Thank you,
Hi.
Monse, for taking my call. And Ambujam, I'm so happy to speak with you. I resonate so strongly with everything you say, even your answer right now is just powerful. Thank you. The processes were deeply, deeply felt. Thank you. I am experiencing exactly what you're talking about, I believe. I've had a plan that I've been trying to start. I'd start and then put it aside, and I understand that's okay, and then start again. And then I question myself a lot because of past, like we're talking, and realizing big dreams beyond the dreams, and realizing nightmares too, like so many of us. So I know that plays into it, and I'm still looking deep and trying to feel that depth in myself of where the breakthrough is needed, even wondering if it was entities or curses, which somebody did tell me that wasn't mine, and all that. So, and I know that I have the power to unleash it as you're talking about. So I'm happy to listen again, and your package and all of this. Is there anything that you can relay to me right now that's holding me back? I'm looking for my, and the reluctancy I've been feeling so strongly, and kind of doubting.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, the masculine was very appropriate too, because my early years, you know, I was in a very masculine world doing very masculine things in business. So I know that's been my mind, very strong mind, and working with that for years. I work with these things all the time. So again, I resonate so much with what you're saying, and I'd appreciate anything that would be helpful right now. I want my breakthrough. One more thing, I feel like probably so many of us, it feel in my heart like crying sometimes. I just want to get going with my work. I want to help people like I've been helped, and I know the joy that it brings me when I do, just doing what I do many times. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, please bring it on.
I know,
so,
that deep yearning is so pure.
Yes,
right?
It is. Yes.
So I want to say this too. When you guys ask a question, it's like you're all these multifaceted diamonds, and there are all these facets to your question. And so what comes today in this moment is there's a specific facet that will show itself to me that it wants to share, right? So answers can be really layered. And here are the two things I want to say. One is, it looks to me for the past, I want to say, well, your inner child is like my whole life. I'm like, yes. But I want to say, as an adult, the past 5, 6, 7 years, maybe 10 years, it's like life is pulling you by the collar to be of service and to do exactly what your heart yearns for. Okay. Because of who you are and the power of who you are, what you've been doing ever since then is reconciling the old layers so you can be. Okay. And that's still happening. The old layers are reconciling. Okay. So you're right on path. It's just taken some time. That's the hardest part. We're like, come on already, Jesus Christ. Oh, this is the layer. Now it's going to happen. Oh, what do you mean? No. What do you mean there's more? So only your true self, let's say in life itself, which is really the same thing, but I don't want to get into that right now. It's really the same thing. So let's say only life itself really knows the layers that need to reconcile for you to truly be who you are and what's needed in this life for others. And so you're still in that process. Okay. You're still like cooking. Okay. Now, so again, you're right on path. You're not missing anything. You haven't missed anything. And your mind might say, but I could have already done this 3 times over. I could have already been out in the world 3 times over. And I'm like, yes, I see that. And things have changed again energetically. So what you would have done those 3 times, let's say, like life's like, yeah, you could have done that, but it wouldn't have fully brought you out the way you need to be. So we're going to wait again. And then time went by again. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm ready. And life's like, yep. Oh no, wait. Things changed again in consciousness and an awakening. We need to wait so you can fully really be of service of how you can do it. So your life is, not your own.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
All you can do is truly listen and follow and really listen. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of help your human resolve with all that. Like, keep going. You're right on. Okay. The other part that I'm seeing from, quote, your multifaceted diamond that we need to talk about today is your, quote, witch self from past lives. Okay. Not bad, just powerful. Okay. She's done some stuff that you're not conscious of, that you're afraid you'll do again. So some part of you on a really deep level consciously is like, yeah, I have a lot of power and I'm kind of scared to use it like that again. I know I need to, I know I want to, but I don't know, I bet I have some default of not being in my power again on that level. Okay. So, and I know that you'll work with this after today. Like, you can bring your awareness to that and be like, what witchy self, I wonder? What part of me needs to feel like she's okay again and feel safe again to come out and use her power? Okay. So what I want to say, so after this, like, spend time with her so you can know where she's still holding fear or hurt or betrayal or upset that has made her use her power from those places before, that you're afraid to do it again in this life. Okay. So you can really be with her of what she needs to be heard. That's really all she needs, is to be heard. At the end of the day, it's really all she needs. And then healing will happen, But I just feel like I'm not done yet. So I want to see what she has to say. And I feel like this information that I'm sharing right now about this past life part of you is really helpful for others too. And I don't really know anybody, including myself, that when we start being in our power, that hasn't dealt with our past life selves, that have done stuff that we need to take responsibility for, own, reconcile, complete, so we can feel safe again to go forward and be in our power in a way that is rightful, right? So this is really normal to reconcile these parts. Okay, what does she want to say? And she's like, she knows, like, I'm looking at her. And so she's like, wait, do I say this? Oh no, wait, I'll deal with that in a second. Oh wait, do I say this? Oh no, I'll deal with that in a second. So she's like, she works really fast, this part of you works super fast with your consciousness. So every time she's like looking at me, being like, ooh, let's talk about this. And then she's like, no, I got it. Oh wait, no, I know, let's talk about this. Oh no, I got it. So I'm just like, she's kind of waiting for, like, what is the one thing that we can talk about right now while we're all together? And I feel like she just kind of keeps coming back to control. The need to assert control because other people are controlling this world. And so her old way of doing things is meeting that control by more control, meeting agenda by more agenda. And she's like, I don't want to do that anymore, but I don't kind of know what to do. Yes, I do. So it's, again, she's like, quick, So I feel like the one theme that she just kind of wants to discuss right now is, when we look out into the world and we see the, quote, powers that be that are in control of this 3D world still, the desire to meet that with anger, rebellion, more control, and more agenda is not the way. And yet we need to be honest with how we feel, if we feel those feelings. So feel your piss off at the world. I'm talking to whoever needs to hear this. Feel your hurt, feel your upset, feel your anger, feel the need that you want to just assert anger and power and agenda. Feel all that. It's normal, right? It's normal to be upset. feel what's there, be honest. Then you can feel into your heart of, I wonder what my actual move is. What's really true and rightful. And that helps reconcile the parts that don't want to go out in the world again because they're afraid. It can reconcile some reluctancy, you know. So be honest with yourself, feel your feelings, but not to meet agenda with agenda. Meet it from the heart. The heart will know what to do. So she's done talking to me now. So that's what I want to say. So that's a really long answer to your question.
My gosh, thank
really
you.
Needed, really needed.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for the time. Thank you, everybody, for creating the time. Thank you. I'm very grateful.
Honor, really.
Bless you.
You.
Oh, it's an honor for me to have this time. Thank you both. Thank all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivi. And thank you also, Ambujam, for the guidance.
Mm-hmm.
The next question from Penny. The past few weeks, I have been feeling severe anxiety, and today is the worst. I feel it in my solar plexus and feels like fear, at times terror. Any insights what this is and how to answer it with what it needs?
Gosh, this is so interesting, Penny. That's her name, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm a person of like full transparency. I'm not like, I do not know how to be political. I have no desire to be political. I'm just like, boom, here's what's here. Okay. What's so interesting is when she says, today's the worst. And then you described what she was saying and how she's feeling. What's so interesting is I was feeling this energy that she's talking about this morning. And I'm like, why do I feel so freaking weird right now? And it was an energy that I've never felt before. I knew it wasn't mine, but it was so interesting. And so when she's bringing, I forgot all about it because I just went into like, where's this sticking in me, and worked with it and did some yoga and like gotten my power in my heart. And then it wasn't there anymore. It was gone because I dealt with whatever it was sticking to in me. And I forgot all about it until right now she's talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that weird energy. What is that? So, so interesting. So, and I'm not saying, oh, I took Penny's energy on and, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how sacred all our connections really are, and that we don't know what we're about to do together. We don't know what our day consists of. We don't know why we're feeling things we feel sometimes. We don't know the significance of it and the purpose of it, right? Until we do. So this is one of those moments. I'm like, oh yeah, this. What is this? Because in the moment, I didn't decide. I decided it was more important to see what it was sticking to in me so I could be clear than it was to understand what it was. Or sometimes it's vice versa for me. So, all right. So this energy in the solar plexus and in the belly, it doesn't just affect Penny, it affects. So interesting. What the heck is that? And the other thing about this thing, why this is so significant too, is sometimes we don't know what we're aware of until we have something to compare it to. So I had, in the moment when this was happening for me this morning, I didn't know how significant it actually was until I look back and I go, oh yeah, something in me knew it had to do with this call today, and it feels important. I didn't consciously remember thinking that way until right now. So I'm just going to release it out of all of us, I guess, because it's this kind of hidden veil. I'll just call it this like energy. And it has to do, and once I start releasing it with spirit and your teams and everything, with all of us, that'll give me the information I need. But I feel like the first step is to actually clear the solar plexus of what this kind of It's like an overlay. Blocks the power. It's not natural. It's not organic. So like what we talked about today was like this reluctancy energy that was there to protect the incarnational self from self-realization. Like if I could simplify it, right? It was like an organic energy. It was like meant to be there. It's just part of incarnation, let's say. This energy, however, is not organic. It's not natural. It's, it's another energy that's not us. So, yeah. And whoever this is, it ain't happy. And again, I'm like, I felt this energy this morning. It no likey. So, and it's so interesting because it came on the heels, like Penny's question came on the heels of Vivi's question, which is agenda, power and control. That last part, right? We don't meet agenda with agenda. Never works. Okay. So this energy that I'm working with right now to clear out of whoever this is in, this kind of weird, it's just it's weird overlay of energy that creates an elusiveness, creates our power to be elusive, or our sense of self to be elusive, or our directness to be elusive. So it's some power and control being. Him's not happy at all right now with releasing this out of our bodies, but it's time, or else we wouldn't be doing it. And this energy, this being comes from a long time ago, other worlds. It's just a layer. I'm going to simplify this. Yep, he's taking it away now because he has to. Because we all see it. So we all see it now. Not mentally, right? But we know what this is. So it's just part of, I'm going to simplify it, because so much awakening is going on the planet right now. It's just part of the energies of agenda and control that want to keep things the same, and they can't. So, yep, you best to go now. So this being is just kind of looking around. It's also in the earth. This energy has been in the earth, so he's taking it from the earth now too, because it's rightful. Like he just can't be here anymore. He needs to go back to where he came from. Yep. So I'm just going to ask you all to fill your space, and don't do it mentally. Just allow your true essence, your energy, your power, your sense of self, your true self to take up space now of where this energy used to be in the body, mind. And you just allow your true self to do it. Yep. Good, 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 good. A lot of it was in the third chakra. I'd say like 90% of whatever this energy was in the third chakra. So as you guys are just like filling up your energy now, taking up space there, it's really affected, your sense of self, your power, your ability to assert your power, your divine will. Yep. So spirit's going up there now and dealing with this being, and lovingly, of course. Being like, come on now, fella. Gotta go back to your world. You can't be here anymore. That's the simple discussion going on up there. And then the other thing I need to say to all of you, and I'm going to ask this question, and I just want the truth of you to just do what it's going to do. Where have you made this okay? That someone or something would take precedent over you. That you gave power to, yeah, that's good, you guys. You gave power to allowing something or someone to be first instead of you being first. Your knowing is first. Always. Yep. And then with Penny specifically, we're just clearing out some DNA kind of lineage stuff that really where this had stuck to you in the third eye and in the body of, I'm measly, I'm sick, I don't feel well. It's like a measly, is the word. I'm just small. I contract in myself and then I contract and I contract. That's lineage stuff. And that's just in the system. And so we're just helping to clear that off your body. So Penny, what I would say for you is relax into your beingness and ask your beingness to get nice and big in your human. Just keep taking up space and the stuff will just start falling off, and keep believing that you matter. You matter. And I would say you mattering is one of the corest soul experiences that you've had, right? Knowing that you matter. So you'll be releasing for a while, Penny. So like a big kind of purge. So just keep filling up your space with your beingness. That kind of quiet aliveness, neutral, abiding self flow. You guys are bringing it today. So good. I mean, you guys always bring it, right? But your questions are like, they're just so connected, you know, to everything that we really came here to do all together, you know. Monsef, I just want to say thank you so much for gathering us all and being the space, holding. I don't want to say holding the space because then it seems like you're something you have to do. It's like just you, just like you just have this allowingness. So beautiful, you know? So just want to say thanks.
Thank you. Thank you to you. Yeah, for that healing. That was powerful. And also thank you, Penny, for bringing that. I think we have only 2 or 3 minutes. I'm not sure if we have enough time for one more question. Can we? Okay. So it's from Pippa. She wrote, why can't I connect to myself, my feelings, my inner knowing, and my teams? It's like nothing is there. Any insight, please? Thank you much. Love.
So the multifaceted diamond layer that wants to come is, this is kind of hard to describe. So when you ask this question, and I see you and all of your information is there, your teams, guides, spirit, you know, whatever we call all these, our family, right, of beings. It's all there. But the part that's coming up today, it's already leaving, is a past life, both inner curse and outer curse. So you cursed yourself by your demanding, unhealed anger at the time. So without healing the anger, which underneath all anger is really hurt. So without healing the hurt, it becomes anger. And then that type of anger becomes demanding and saying to God, it's like, hear me now, says the hurt. I will never feel or know in these layers that you're working with now ever again. So you did it yourself. And then over lifetimes, stuff just stuck to that, you know. So I would, and it's already, you know, these parts of you are already working with that now. Like it's already starting to, it's almost like plastic. It's interesting. Like it feels like when you go to connect from this old way, the cursey stuff feels like, it's like this plastic. It's like, I know you're there, but I can't feel you or see you. It feels like that. So that stuff's starting to release now. But what I would ask yourself is, where is this like, and I don't want to use the word rage, but I just want to use that for a second because it's so strong. it's not rage, but it's like, where's this rageful, like anger at God or anger at? Where is it in your soul history? Like if you just kind of feel after today, you know, or even in this moment, where is this deep hurt, I wonder, that gets very rageful and demanding, that is that powerful that it then creates what it demands, right? And then when you start feeling it, just feel it. You can let all the labels go and feel it, and know that you have the power to feel it. You can meet it. You can be present with it. Like you've got you to meet that now, where before it was too hurtful and too scary. But it just, being demanding felt easier because it's like, I'm powerful, right? Like it's easier to feel angry than it is hurt. To really feel this hurt has been scary. But you can do it now, right? You can do it. So that's what I would say. And the one more thing to add to that is like, because I feel like when you start working on that, there's this kind of larger consciousness of you that will start feeling like, ooh, I wonder where else stuff like this is sitting and that I can kind of complete with it. So let that be there too. So it's like you'll approach it like with your human consciousness of like, I wonder where this hurt is that Ambujam was pointing to. You just feel like, let it come to you, and then be just kind of open to this larger consciousness within you that will want to be curious of like, ooh, I wonder what else we can do that's on these levels. So that's what I want to say.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Abuja. And yeah, thank you, Pipa, for your question. Vivi Short, thank you, Ambujam and myself for this powerful show. Absolutely wonderful, empowering, and enlightening. Penny, all of that rings so true. It felt bigger than just me. Thank you so much, Ambujam. Feeling better already.
Good.
And, oh,
this stuff's so real. The energetics, right? Like we feel it. It creates everything. I just want to, can I share something quick before we?
Yeah, of course.
Wrap up. Michael and I, my husband, we were out and about and we were eating dinner at this restaurant. And all of a sudden, my belly started to feel like heavy. And I only had like 3 bites. And I'm like, that's not normal. And then I was like, somebody in here, up in this place, is attacking me. And so I worked with it, I cleared it. And then again, became more aware of what in me it was sticking to, right? Which for me in that moment is about me really being in my power, because I'm like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that person didn't want that. So anyway, I digress. So as Michael and I were having dinner, we were both like, dang, man, this stuff is so real. We feel it. We all feel it. We just don't know what it is. And like my husband and I, we live there. Like all of us, like we know what this world is. We know the world of energy because we feel it. And it's so like the base of everything, right? So it just reminds me, like when Penny said it resonated, I'm like, this stuff's just so real. So real. So I just want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you all for everything that you brought today and everything that you are and everything that you just are. And I love you guys. It's such an honor to be here with you all. And
yeah,
that's what I
thank
want
you.
to say. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, many messages come in. Like everyone feeling grateful to you for your Ambujam, for everything. So yeah, me as well. So grateful to you for the time you spent with us, for the healing, for the guidance, for I mean that was really, really powerful. It's like I feel like the experience with reluctance just changed totally after the call.
Mhm.
This was very transformative, and yeah, I feel it was very needed. So thank you so much
Me
for that.
too.
Thank you for the
you,
guidance to our
Nancy.
callers as
Yeah.
well. And yeah, so thank you again. And everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. And again, I highly recommend that you sign up for one of the 2 packages that Ambujam is offering us. And you can find them on the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Ambujam, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Ambujam, AMBUJAM. And I put the link on the chat boxes, both on Zoom and YouTube. And also you can find the special offer button on the live events page, later on the replay page. And the link is as well on the YouTube video description. And yeah, so thank you so much, everyone, for your energy, for co-creating with us, for your questions, really powerful ones. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much to each and every one of you, whether you attended live or on the replay. And with that, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.